Chasing implies that the other person is running. Imagine it like if there was a dog there and I was like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, and I was running after that dog, I'm gonna get you. That dog would then would be like running away. It would like know it's time to play. And in a way, what happens when we are energetically chasing someone else, they energetically are like, oh look, it's time to play. And they continue to run because they're just playing on that energy dynamic. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to have them chase you to switch that energy dynamic around so that you don't feel like you have to need it or play that game altogether. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to switch around the energy dynamic so that it's not so much like you're chasing someone else, because remember, the chase implies that someone else is running away. And the key to this is understanding the frame of going into the process altogether. If we're under the frame that we want to be in someone else's movie, we want to be the cameo in their movie, then they're going to treat us as such. And if we are chasing them, think about that as well. Anytime we chase someone else, energetically, we're saying that person is not in my life, and we are feeling a lack. And when we're feeling a lack, we're going to create more lack in our life. Think about it like this too. Gratitude unifies us with the results and the experiences that we want. And when you're chasing someone else, you're not feeling gratitude in the present moment. You're not feeling gratitude for what you have. You're feeling the lack because you don't have that which you want. Now, in my own life, this is something that I've experienced, especially years ago when I started dating later than a lot of people just because I had a certain level of control in my life until I was 15 years old. After that, I was like probably 16 or 17 when I had my first girlfriend. And I remember getting into it, it was like a whole new world, because I went from somebody that was having no freedom at all to all of a sudden being able to have friends and then also be in a relationship. So I was kind of new to the game, and I remember like talking to someone, one of the first girlfriends that I had. I was very much focused on getting validation from her, and I was in a way as well, like I would spend a lot of time, whoops, is that good lighting? Yes, I would spend a lot of time thinking about her and wanting things to go a certain way. And I found that the more I did that, the more I was thinking about her in that way, the more I was wanting it to go a certain way, in a way control it, the more resistance I would create. And in a way, I can see now that anytime I've played that pattern in the past, the other person was just playing off the energy I was projecting. And if I was always being needy, that would resist. They would push me away. But if I was, in a way, seeing it as natural, and that's really the key to this whole process, is seeing it as natural for your self-image to have love in your life and to have a magnetic personality. And when you have that, that's when things change. Also, understanding that you can be in abundance. So when you're in abundance, you realize that you have other options. A lot of times when people chase love or chase someone specific especially, what they do is they're looking at one person. They're chasing one person and they're hoping it goes very well, and if it doesn't go well, then they end up feeling resistance. So it's in a way, it gets put on a pedestal. And anytime I've been in that position, I'll tell you, it normally just doesn't turn out well. What I have to do is I have to decrease the level of importance. I have to decrease and know that I'm good either way. And that happened, I've shared this story once before, but it's a good analogy of how the energy dynamic changes. And you've probably seen this as well. Have you ever seen it to where there's a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or somebody breaks up with their significant other, or the person they're in a relationship with? One person's very distraught about the whole situation. The other one maybe is a little bit less attached. Then what happens is, it's like that other person, it's like there's a period of time when it's like maybe a couple months or maybe a couple weeks where that one person's really in their head about it. They really want to get back together with this person, but the other person's just kind of doing their thing. And then what happens is that person that's all distraught about it might go out with their friends. They might go and do something that takes their mind off that other person, and then they may even have fun, and then all of a sudden the energy dynamic begins to change. And when that energy dynamic begins to change, what happens is many times that person, the other person that really didn't care, they can feel that shift, and then sometimes they'll reach out. It's a very interesting thing. But the more unattached you become, the more detached you become on outcome, the more attractive you are. The more attractive you are, because the more that signals that you have and are in abundance, that you aren't dependent on the outcome. So let me show this a little bit on this chart right over here, and I'll explain a little bit more. Now, when it comes to attachment, think of it like this. When we're chasing love, what we are doing is we have this stick, and this stick, at the end of this stick, is the people that we are chasing, the love we are chasing. Now, what happens is no matter how far we go, if the energy dynamic here is chasing, then that means that it's always a little bit further out of reach. It's almost like if you've ever seen those things where they'll have a horse, and they'll have like a stick with a carrot on it, and they'll make the horse run. I know it's like cartoons or something like that. But if you ever remember that, it's like on a little treadmill. Or have you ever seen those funny videos where like someone's running on a treadmill in the gym, and they have it like a muffin on a stick that's like a head, and they're like running for it? It's that idea. That's chasing love. It's this, we're just vibrationally telling ourselves a story that we don't have love already, that we should have love, and then therefore we energetically separate ourselves from it. That attachment is this right here, is that stick. So the key is learning to be detached from outcome, to be detached in knowing that you're already love. Within your own energetic field, you can feel love right now. And think of it like this anyways. Even if we were chasing love and we finally got it, what would then happen is there's a rule in the mind that says once I finally achieve love and have someone else in my life, then I give myself permission to feel more love. But that love was always within your field. That's the funny thing. It's always been within your field. It's just there's a rule, there's a story in our mind that once someone's in my life, then I can actually feel it. You know, I have a buddy the other day I was talking to. I went to, there's this Conor McGregor fight, and I went to one of my friend's house, and I was with a whole bunch of buddies that I've been friends with for a long time. And I was talking to one of my friends who just recently is starting to get into a new type of relationship, but he was talking about how much he really likes this girl. It's like a girl he kind of indirectly works with, and he's really attracted to her, and he really likes her. And some of his friends said, "Oh, this girl's out of your league," even though my buddy's like a stud guy. I don't know why they would say that to him, and he's a real cool guy, real cool personality. But he's like, "Oh, this," and he was like, "No," and he's going on dates with this girl, and he really likes her. But what I could tell is what I was communicating with him is in this dynamic, she can feel, because she's mentioned it before, that he may want a relationship, and she is more so right now like, I just kind of want to date, I don't want the attachment right now. And I could see that if he were to push that, it would push her away. If you were to push for the relationship, even though they have this connection. And the thing I was expressing to him is make sure that the energy dynamic is you are giving that freedom. You are still giving that freedom, because she may not be 100% gung-ho that I want a relationship right now, and if you push that energy, then it's gonna repel her. But if you give her complete freedom and you're like, yeah, it's good either way, whether we're in a relationship or not, then she'll feel that freedom. That also is a signal of abundance. It's a signal that you are being yourself and that you have other options. And that's a different energy dynamic. That's a different energy exchange. So the key to this is understanding that the way we go about this is we must first off become aware of how happy are we with being ourselves, with being by ourselves. Even if we're not in a loving relationship right now, the first thing to do is to develop a loving relationship with yourself. And when you develop a loving relationship with yourself, you then feel more love within your field, and then guess what? You then are more likely to perceive of someone that can also perceive of that love within you. And think about this just in the form of energy dynamic. Are you doing what you love for a living? I'll tell you right now that once I started doing what I love for a living, I bring through a different energy in my reality now, and it attracts different types. It attracts people that are more in alignment with me. And then I feel like I don't have to chase. But I'll tell you, even in the last relationship I was in the beginning of our relationship, and that was a relationship with Lior, who's still like my best friend, even though we're not in a relationship anymore romantically, it's like, I remember in the beginning of that relationship, I was so gung-ho and like I never met somebody with such a deep connection that I felt a spiritual connection to as well, because normally it was like, kind of like love by circumstance. It's like, oh, we worked at the same place, you know, and now that I was doing what I love, I met someone else who was also doing what they love, and it was someone I had a very deep connection with. And in the beginning, I remember just almost like sabotaging my own mind, like, this needs to go well. I really hope this goes well. And energetically, when you start talking to someone, communicating with them, you create what is called an energetic cord with them. And when you think of them, it strengthens that cord, or it channels energy back and forth. That's called an energy cord. And what happened with Lior and I is we started dating, and that energy cord that was connected between us, I then was getting all in my head about it and like, oh, I've never had a connection like this before. I really hope it goes well. And even when Lior, Lior is much more grand than this person right here, but you know what I mean. Even when Lior she ended up going with one of her best friends to Europe. And when she went to Europe, I felt this pull of her leaving. And in a way, I was so butchering the vibration, the energy, because I was so needy and so chasing and hoping everything went well between us, even though we were further away. And she could feel that. She even texted me one day when she was there, and she's like, is everything okay between us? Like, you know, and this is when we just started dating. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, I'm really like energetically going through some things. And if you remember back a year ago, I started going through some things personally, and it was me getting in my own head and me putting like us on a pedestal. And what eventually happened is I learned how to value and bring this all more within. And once I brought it more within, and it got rid of that energy, that negative energy dynamic that was in place, that chasing the love, the chasing the validation, the wanting things to go a certain way. So from an energetic point of view, the purpose is understanding being 100% okay with yourself and feeling love and understanding that when you're being yourself totally, that's the most attractive thing. And when it comes to this process as well, don't chase love. Understand that you are love, which I know sounds cliche, but any of the flaws you think you have, feature them. What you have as flaws, feature them, own them. Own them. When you own it, it's a different energy. And when you own it, people feel what you feel about yourself. So if you're like, oh, I've got this little, where is the freckle? I have like a freckle like on either side. I can't really see on the camera right now. I've got a little freckle. If I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so insecure about this little freckle. What will people think of me? I hope people don't notice my freckle. And then when I'm talking to people, I'm thinking in my mind, please don't look at my freckle. Please don't look at my freckle. Please don't look at my freckle. Guess what? Eventually they're probably gonna look at my freckle because I'm literally projecting that insecurity out. But what if instead I own that freckle? And I'm like, you know what? In my back of my mind, I'm not like telling people like, yo, my freckle, that freckle right there, guess what? I own that. That makes me super special. I am the special, unique starseed. So the idea is a freckle, it's you own it, own the freckle. And if it's something else, and you know, that's just an analogy or just like a kind of a funny little example, but own whatever you think is like, you know, you might like a certain type of food and be afraid, or a certain type of music. When I first got into spirituality, I really liked Enigma and Enya, which is kind of girly music to listen to. But I remember being in the beginning of any relationship I'd be in, I'd be like afraid to share that. So they're going, oh, it's not like Drake, you know, even though sometimes I would listen to Drake, but it's not like Drake or cool, like are these cool artists and stuff. But if you just own it, then they feel, oh, this person's just really comfortable and really just owns it. I like that, you know, that's kind of unique. Maybe that'll show me something different, you see? So the main part of this video as well that I really wanted to share is understanding the power of gratitude and how gratitude unifies you with the reality you want. All right, so one of the last things I want to talk about is understanding gratitude and feeling grateful for who you are. And what I mean by who you are is also the energy character in a way that you're playing. Because in a way, this reality that we call life, we are all either the star of our own movie or we're the cameo in other people's movie. And anytime we're chasing love, we are putting ourselves as a cameo in their movie, and then the energy dynamic is off because they know they're the star, because the energy that's being projected out is as the cameo, as the supporting role, as the can I get you anything, or can I help you and support you in this master role of your life. But remember, if you treat someone like a celebrity, then they will treat you like a fan. And having that energy dynamic influence, it emphasizes that. So the thing that I want to share with you today is that what you can begin to do is to take back your star role. And that if you're chasing love, then maybe this is also a reflection that maybe in life in general, not just love, but maybe in money, maybe in career and success and health, maybe you haven't been showing up as the star in that area of your life. Maybe you have, but many times areas will leak into different parts of us. So the thing that I would really encourage you to do is to become aware of the energy that you're putting out, and whether you are the star of your own movie. You see, our whole lives, we believe we were given a script. The script many times we were given is Disney Channel. We give the Disney Channel script. The Disney Channel script is that you're a damsel in distress, you're completely incomplete, and then one day, maybe one day, you'll meet that Prince Charming. And when you meet that Prince Charming, it'll be amazing, and then eventually you'll live happily ever after. That's the narrative, the script that we're giving, that we then start to think that that's the way our life has to go. But when we change the script and realize that you write your own script and that you're not a damsel in distress, you are completely whole, you start to change the frame and you start to become the star of your own movie. You can decide with your choices which direction you go in. And one of the choices you can do right now is choose that you are worthy. Choose that you don't need outside love to feel the inside of love. Realize that this is about putting out a frequency, almost like a radio tune, a radio dial. When you tune to the frequency of love, other people will feel that off of you and you'll have much more attractive energy. But anytime you're chasing love, that's a different radio frequency. That's the radio frequency that says, I don't currently have it and I really wish I did, and I'm putting my intention and I want it, but the want implies the not having. So the key to this is tuning your radio dial to the frequency of love by feeling gratitude within. Remember, gratitude unifies you with whatever you're thinking of, that reality. And a lot of people, when you start feeling gratitude for what you have, you get more of it. When you start to feel gratitude for the love that you are, you'll get more of a reflection of that in your life. Whatever flaw you have, or you perceive that you have, own it. And when you own your flaws, the things you perceive to be flaws, other people will be much more open and comfortable with it. And you'll realize that the whole time, maybe that whole entire thing was in your head anyways. But gratitude is the key to this unification process. Feeling the emotion now, giving yourself permission, and as you do this, you will eventually perceive of that reality. And if you haven't seen it yet, I have an Attract Love meditation. It's the most powerful meditation on my channel. It's got over like 1.5 million views, and I say that because it really does work. If you go read the comments, you'll see probably hundreds of comments that say, I attracted love using this meditation. I listened to it for 21 days and this is what happened. Go read some of those. That'll increase the belief that they can work for you. Listen to that for 21 days. It'll be in the top of the description box below, and watch how love starts to come into your life because you start feeling it within. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.